When I was a kid, our neighborhood had a house that we all referred to as simply the Candy Lady. I think this is a common occurrence in many neighborhoods, though I may be wrong. Living nearby the bus stop made it a prime choice for her business. What was her business, you may ask? Well, she sold candy. Loads of kids in the area would knock on her door and buy various sweets from her. She was always stocked up. A lot of parents didn't know about it, but the ones who did thought it was weird. My parents included. They forbade me from going there. Of course, that was hard to enforce with her living so close to the bus stop and all. I digress. Something just seemed off about this woman. More than the fact that she sold candy to children, she always had a sour expression. It didn't even seem like she enjoyed what she did. And why did she do it? That was the question in the back of many young minds. Mostly, we didn't care. I mean, we got candy out of it, but something was off. She did this every day, even selling the candy for a reasonable price, never bending to inflation. But one day something changed. When Tommy went to her door. Tommy was an adventurous kid, never feared anything. He'd speak his mind to anyone who'd listen, no matter if they were a kid or adult. That's why his reaction that day was so surprising. It was the first time I ever saw him scared. That day, he barely talked. "Hey, what's up, Tommy?" James shouted. Tommy just stared blankly at him. "Yo, T, what's wrong?" "I can't talk about it." "What do you mean?" No response. I began to worry too. "Tommy, you good, man?" He shook his head. A sullen look remained on his face over the years, and it didn't seem like he'd ever recover. What changed? Gone was that outgoing wild kid we all knew, a shell of his former self. Not too long ago, I came across Tommy's Facebook page. I shot him a friend request and DM'd him. "Hey man, I haven't seen you in forever. We should get lunch or something sometime," I typed. Really, I was curious. I wanted to ask him about that day. To my surprise, he replied. Even more surprising, he agreed to get lunch, replying with a simple, "Sure." We set up a time and place. I was excited. I know it's an odd thing to get excited over, but I was just dying to know. What happened that so drastically altered his personality? The day arrived. We met up at the local taco shop as planned. I sat down in the booth across from him, shaking his hand. "Hey man, good to see you again." "Yeah, you too." "What you up to these days?" "Oh, just working." "Yeah, man, I hear that. Say, when's the last time we hung out?" I'm not sure." "Yeah, me neither. It's been a while, though. Feels like not that long ago we were kids. Now look at us." "Yeah." Anyways, that reminds me. You remember that weird candy lady on our street? I just thought about that. I wonder what she's up to now. Tommy stared blankly. He sighed. "Is that why you brought me here? To talk about the candy lady?" "Nah, man, what?" I chuckled nervously. "Just wanted to catch up with an old friend." "Why do you lie?" I choked on my water. "What? What do you mean?" "I know why you did this. Just be honest." "Well, all right, fine, you got me." "Yeah, I'm curious. A lot of people are." "What happened that day, man?" He sighed, staring into his tray of tacos. "All right, here it goes. I leaned forward, anticipating what he would say next. That day, I went to her door after school just like always. But this time, she invited me in her house. What? No way, she did? Just be quiet and listen. I nodded. She invited me inside. Of course, I obliged. On the inside, it was a normal house for the most part. It was clear she lived alone. She walked me through the kitchen to the other rooms. That's when I saw the birds. At least 20 cages filled with various birds. Sure, that was odd, but that was nothing compared to when she took me down to the basement. My heart rate sped up. She led me there, and it was dark and smelled rank. Kind of like a barn, that type of smell. And then I heard squawking. I can still hear that awful squawking. I stopped halfway down the staircase. What's down there? I asked. My children. I'd love you to meet them. They need a new friend, she said. I hesitated, but I followed her. It was hard to see at first, but she turned on a dim light. The squawking only got worse from there. What I saw in front of me were two children, but their mouths and noses were elongated, forming beaks. Their eyes were black and beady, and their arms formed a fleshy triangle resembling wings. Unnaturally long fingers and toes protruded from their arms and legs with sharp fingernails at least 5 inches long. Come on, don't be shy, she said. The kids were chained up like dogs. They even had a food and water bowl. They squawked louder and louder. I covered my eyes and ears. Come on, she pleaded. Play with them. My jaw dropped. I began to sweat. I took off and ran back up those stairs. I looked back to see the candy lady standing there. That unusual sour look returned to her face. What? I said. You're joking, right? I felt sick. I hoped he was joking. But why would he be? That'd be a pretty elaborate joke to go on that long and to, what, only tell me? It didn't add up. I wish. After that, I decided not to be brave anymore. Look where it got me. I never told anyone. I mean, it's cliche, but who's gonna believe me? I know you probably don't believe me either. It's fine. It was so long ago. Those days are past me now. Hopefully. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons, Old Penguin, Rinku Star, Melissa Perez, Icy Narrates, Seven Cities Journalist, Cupcake Hips, Eric Cifuentes, Alonso, Austin My Love, Ellie Hutmeyer, Jesse Hartley, Lawrence Wallen, Mr. Sankofa, and William Hartley. I always try to link a different charity in the description, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to start having more things on my Patreon soon, so keep your eyes peeled. And as always, I'd love to know how I can be praying for you, so go ahead and drop a comment and let me know how I can do that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.